Alright, we're going to see how to make a working Nerf gun, a dart gun. So, first thing we need is our prefab. And I created a challenge folder once again here like I usually do. And so in the prefabs, objects, launchers, I'm going to use the dart gun. Put that right there. And I'm going to put the dart out here so we can drag it into our script here in a little bit. So now that we have that, let's go ahead on the dart gun 1, which is the duplicate. This one's already done. We're going to add the launch projectile script. And let's look at these fields here. We have, what are we going to shoot? The projectile prefab. Well, that's going to be projectile dart 1, which we need to customize a little bit. The start point, in other words, where should it be fired from? And there's nothing on here right now, so let's just make it empty. And I'll call this dart start. And we basically want it to be at the end of the barrel, more or less. Let's try that. So we have that. The start point, we need to drag in that start point so it knows where to spawn the darts. And the launch speed, which after some experimentation, you're going to want something like 500 or something. Pretty high. Now the actual dart itself, if we look at that, when we shoot it, it's not going to do a whole lot. It's just going to hang out in the air, and it's not even going to fall if we don't add a rigid body. So we add a rigid body to the dart, and we are using gravity on that. Great. And the gun itself doesn't have any of that stuff. It has a script, but we can't pick it up, and it doesn't have gravity. So we want to make it something we can pick up, so we just search for grab and use the grab interactable. And to make it look like we're actually holding the handle and not the center of the gun, because if you pick it up right now, it'll look like you're holding it from the center there. I'm going to create another empty here. Just call this attach. And then that I will put kind of in the handle-ish somewhere. Yeah. It's not too bad. So then we can put in the grab interactable attach transform. We can drag in the attach. Looks good. And now when we pick it up and pull the trigger, something should happen. So that's an activate. So I'm going to hit a plus on there. So when, now the script that I want to access is on the gun, so I'm going to drag this in here, because in here it will now recognize the launch projectile script, and there's a fire, which is good. Let's just check out and see where we're at so far by hitting play. Got my Quest 2 headset here, and there is my gun. Pick it up, and pew, 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 pew. Actually works pretty good. Now there's no sound. So to actually get the sound on here, on the dart gun itself here, I'm going to add another script here. If you search for quick, you'll find this play quick sound that we've used before. And that will automatically add the audio source, which basically makes this a little speaker. And you don't put the clip in here, even though there's a spot for it there. We actually want to put it in the script here. So what sound do we want it to play? I think they use the UI click 4. And now it is able to play it, but when should it play? Well, in the grab interactable, in the interactable events, when we pull the trigger, we also want it to play a sound. So we can add another event. And also on this dart gun, we want to run from this script play. So now let's try this again and see if we get any audio. Pick it up. Hey, look at that. Now the last thing I want to do is make sure there's not too many darts in the scene at once, because your scene will start lagging if you have hundreds or thousands of bullets or darts in your scene. So we're going to add a simple script to the projectile dart 1 here, this copy one for me, called destroy object. There it is. Search for destroy object and then tell it how many seconds. I'm going to switch this to 3 just for time's sake. And I'm going to make sure that this prefab is saved as a prefab by dragging it down into my challenges. Make sure it's an original prefab. I'll call this destroyed. And that way I can make sure I have the final prefab as what is being shot out of there. So now, and actually I'm going to take the projectile speed down a little bit so they're not accidentally glitching through the floor or anything. So let's test this out. Grab my gun. There we go. And if I stop, you can see after 3 seconds, they go away. So there we go. We have our dart gun finished.